Hi, today I'm just going to show you a little technique that can make your programs, your scripts, slightly more efficient. And it's not going to be hugely noticeable most of the time, but it's just something you can do to add that little bit of extra efficiency to your script. And it's always good to be as efficient as possible. So let's say you're declaring an array. We'll declare it as a reg variable. We'll call it A. And we're not going to populate it here. We're going to populate it later on in the script. We don't know exactly where we're going to populate it, but we know we're going to populate it later on. Let's say we're going to populate it with a loop, and we'll do it just here, but it could be at any point in your script. So we're going to go from 0 to 9, so it's going to have 10 values. And we're just going to go A, and we'll just count to 10 basically, so it doesn't really matter what we're putting in here. And we can have a look at that, and now our array will have 10 values. So let's say you know that you're going to populate it later on, as we've done here, and you know that you're going to only ever have 10 values in this array. Well, to make your script a bit more efficient, you can reserve that bit of memory right at the beginning of your script, rather than it having to sort of decide the size of the array as you go along, as you populate it. You can reserve that memory to populate that array to a particular length initially. So we know it's going to have 10 values. So let's do that. So we type the name of the array, we type a dot, we type the word reserve, and then in the parentheses we tell it how many elements we want to reserve. So we're going to put 10 in here, and I'm going to hit F5, and it's not going to make any noticeable difference really with something this small, but it does add a little bit more efficiency because we've now said this array will only ever have 10 values, and we've reserved them right at the beginning. So I've done this with a reg variable, but it works with constants as well. You could do a const var, and it works exactly the same way. So this is going to be more important on much bigger arrays, obviously, where you're storing a lot more data, but the concept of just reserving a bit of memory on your system for a particular amount of data that you know you're going to use to make your script more efficient is always a good idea.